Some of the trends in instructional settings and modalities that I think are going to be coming up within the next 10 years really revolve around student-centered design thinking. Some of those you already starting to see being implemented at the community college level as well as in adult education and non-credit programs. For example, IBEST, Integrated Basic Education Skills Training. It comes out of the state of Washington in their community college technical college programs out there. And it's a co-teaching model where you have two instructors in the classroom, in a CTE classroom, for example. You have a content instructor that teaches the content of the course. The secondary instructor is usually an instructor from an ESL program or a basic skills program, or it can even be an instructor from a DSPS program, for example. And that second instructor focuses on basic skills. So students typically in an adult education setting, when they're assessed in order to go into a CTE program, they have to test at a certain level of basic skill before they're even eligible to go into a CTE program, for example. So what ends up happening is these students, if they don't test high enough, they get sent to adult basic education, and there they get stuck. They're having to take what equate to remedial English and math classes. And sometimes those students get stuck there for quite a long time, and they become discouraged and they end up dropping out and never make it to the CTE class. So IBEST integrates that basic skills into the daily course work. The curriculum of the course does not change. It's just the modality of the course is the curriculum is modified, and students are able to work on their basic skills and enhance their basic skills at the same time, like with vocabulary, for example, but they're also able to keep up with the curriculum and not fall behind and persist in complete programs. In the community college district where I work, we have IBEST, the IBEST model integrated into our pharmacy technician programs, our early childhood education programs, our medical assistant programs, and our administrative assistant programs. And right now they're only being offered in the intro courses in those particular programs, and they've shown some pretty good results. We have more students who are persisting and completing these programs and going into employment. Now, what we're looking at is how we're going to expand the IBEST program, is do we want to make every single intro class and every single CTE program an IBEST class, or do we continue to allow students to opt in to IBEST? And sort of comparing the results and creating a control group to see which modality is more successful for students. And right now we're seeing that the IBEST students are actually becoming more successful than some of the students who are opting out of IBEST. And there are even students who were in the program before IBEST was in existence, and once they found out it was available, have come to us and said, hey, I wish I could have taken that class because it really could have helped me. So IBEST is one trend that I think is going to continue to grow throughout the community college and adult education system. Another trend that I think you're going to see in instructional settings is the integration of wraparound student support services in the classroom. Now, this is going to require a professional development for faculty and counselors. Faculty and counselors need to be able to identify students who are in need of supportive services. For example, if they have a substance abuse problem, or if they have unstable housing, food insecurity, or if they have other barriers to education and employment. How to identify those? They need to know how to do that and where to refer them to. There are oftentimes these types of resources are not available on campus. And so they need to know what community-based organizations are available in the area in order to be able to refer their students to be able to get the assistance that they need so that they can have reliable transportation to work and to school, for example, if that's the barrier that they're facing. And then the other trend in instructional setting, which is something that I'm personally passionate about because I am a workforce development professional, is the integration of workforce preparation curriculum into the classroom. Similar to an IBEST model, but rather than focusing on basic skills, it'll focus on soft skills development in the classroom. And it'll focus on the types of technical skills that you need and the soft skills that you need to be able to be successful on the job once you've completed your CTE program and you are now working in the field where you've earned your certification from. Because it's not just about getting the job, but it's about keeping the job as well, especially now here in California, where a lot of the funding sources for CTE, like the Carl D. Perkins grant, as well as the strong workforce funding that's coming out of the California State Chancellor's Office, as well as the Adult Education Block Grant, are all going in alignment with WIOA, or the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and the performance outcomes for those grants are pushing more towards job placement and retention. Those are two of the big performance indicators that are being now implemented into adult education, and eventually will come to the community colleges as well through strong workforce funding. So those are some of the areas that I think that we're going to see some big changes. And some of these already have started to be implemented. And as we continue to develop programs and start focusing on student-centered design thinking and what students need, and try to provide them with what they need, but not more than what they need, you'll start to see some of these things being integrated and even enhanced and expanded throughout adult education.